Hello, it's Einar at the Unity Center Web TV. Today we have this exciting guest from California, working with talking with animals. Amalia Kinkade, and she has been traveling a lot now, and had come to sunny Oslo and is very satisfied with that. And Matthew behind the camera has made this fantastic drink to her that you can buy in the cantina. That was a commercial.
Shameless plug.
Yes. Amelia, you're working with translating animal language to a language that we can understand. And I've been looking at some of your YouTube videos, and you're talking to elephants, horses, and small, creepy animals. And everything. How does that really work?
Well, when you're talking about the way animals use language, what we really can focus on is how humans use language. Is if I'm speaking to my Norwegian students, and they're describing, let's say they're describing your delicious juice drink that we're doing the commercial for again. Yeah. You're describing this with particular words.
Yes.
When you describe it, you're holding in your mind a thought, an emotion that accompanies it. It's so delicious. So good. So what comes with that? The color, the taste, the shape, the size, the contents. Now, if I were in Germany, you would use entirely different words because you'd be speaking German. If I'm teaching in America, it would be in English. If I'm teaching in Mexico, it would be in Spanish. So the language that we use to describe an object or an event is another layer of description that is not the object or event. When a dog experiences something, and they have the entire scope of human emotions. I think even more so. Some animals are more emotional. They're more loving. They fall in love more deeply. They miss their mothers. They grieve the loss of their children and their habitats. They are more concerned about humans. They're more sensitive. They're more perceptive. And everyone who has a dog or a cat at home knows that. So as they're experiencing life, they're thinking in pictures, they have emotion, and they have sensations in their body. Now that's the core of experience on Earth. And in that way, it's almost as if you were inside a hologram. It's a holographic experience. It's not really that we're talking to the dog and the dog is talking back. What's happening is that you're sharing energy. You're sharing energy with the entire world around you. And as you share this energy, what's coming back and forth between you and the animal is information in a quantum form. So in little teeny tiny packets of information called quanta, which is our smallest particle, the universe is in flux. And you're doing a dance with your dog, with your cat, with your horse, with your rabbit, with your snake. In my case, with an elephant, with a tiger, with a shark, with a cheetah, with a giraffe, with a penguin. And that dance is being able to silence your mind and emotions to the point where I can resonate on their frequency and understand, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What do they need? So in that way, this is the perfect setting, because this is going to be a place where people are learning meditation, they're learning yoga, they're learning qigong. All those systems silence the mind, quiet the ego, and I'm taking it a step further to allow information to come in so that when somebody like this has a message for you, you can actually hear them. It's okay. Yeah.
This is Dino.
Dino.
It's our therapist on the center is Marianne. She has this dog and is here today to get in contact with something and see if he has any messages. I looked at some of your YouTube videos. You've been talking to the horses to Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Did you get an exciting messages there?
I did. That was the beginning of my first book, which is called The Language of Miracles in English. I think I'm published in Norwegian with a different. Was that fabulous? He just jumped in. That was fabulous. He's like playing jump rope. I've never had that happen before. You want to do it again, Dino? So go ahead. This time he ducked under. The experience in Buckingham Palace was really a magical one. And it was a crazy and stressful day where the military snuck me into the back of Buckingham Palace to meet the Queen's horses. And it was pretty funny because only in England do you have the military saying, "The animal psychic, the animal psychic, the animal psychic." No, I'm not greeted like that in America. But in England, they're very open-minded. They're very spiritual. They love animals, certainly not more so than Norway. I've had marvelous students here in Bergen. I've taught in Bergen every year. This is my first year in Oslo. Every time I teach in in Bergen, they want me to teach here. But in Buckingham Palace, I went up to one of the horses. The head of the military took me to an old horse and said, something's wrong with him, and we don't know what's wrong. Ask him what is bothering him. Now, one of the most beautiful aspects of this work is being able to determine if a problem is physical or if it's emotional. And that really is one of the most important things you could ever be able to accomplish with animal communication. Because oftentimes a backache, especially in a horse, I'm working with the Olympic show horses right now, and this is what we're going through. Is it their back? Is it a stomach problem? Is it a tooth problem? Is it their shoes? Or are they grieving? Are they angry? Are they frustrated? Are they missing somebody? And I asked this horse, what's wrong with you? They thought it was a physical problem. And he said he was missing his best friend. And I said, what happened? And he said, well, I had a young bay horse standing next to me. I was training him. And there's a practice this Saturday, and I'm the Queen's favorite. And I was leading the parade, and he got shipped out, and he's running up north in green, grassy hills.
So this horse had the contact with the other horse?
That's right. This other horse had been in Buckingham Palace standing next to him. And then I said, why did they move him? And they said, well, he has gone up north to run in the green grass, and I'm so upset I don't get to go. I have to lead the practice on Saturday. And I was just training him. I was just getting used to him. He was my new best friend, and they moved him. So this horse had gone into a terrible depression. I said, what's the other horse's name? He said, Bernard. And I told the assistant adjutant there was another horse standing next to him that was a young bay, and his name was Bernard. And he says they moved him up north to the green rolling hills. And the man almost fainted. And he said there was a horse standing next to this horse named Bernard.
So the horse said the name also?
Got the name. But why wouldn't he know the name of his best friend?
Yeah, but to communicate a name,
Yeah.
that's...
A lot of my students get names now. It's a really deep level of sensitivity.
Is this the same way human beings connect each other? Is the same theory, the waves?
It's the way we do or the way we don't. So they confirmed that this other horse had gone up to Prince Charles' hunting facility to run in the green grass. I had no way of knowing they ever got out of Buckingham Palace. They confirmed this was the head of the procession. It was right before the Queen's Jubilee, and this was her favorite horse. And they had moved Bernard. And then I went up to Prince Charles' hunting facility to meet Bernard. So they didn't understand how much the horses bonded. So the animals are extremely emotional. They're having profound communications and relationships that people aren't necessarily aware of. Now, when we communicate, we're doing the same thing. We're sending pictures of what we're talking about. We're sending emotion of what we hope to accomplish, and or what we're feeling, and we also have physical sensation in our bodies. So what I teach people to do is to so completely silence their mind that they're going into a perfect state of meditation where there's no thought, there's no emotion, there's just a sense of the Spirit of God within you listening to the Spirit of God within that animal. And when you're able to go into such a profound state of connection and union with the divine forces and the universe and all that God is, you have a ability to connect with everything else that God is. It's a consciousness of unity, which is the name of your center. When you're able to say, the consciousness inside of us all is the spirit of the Creator. And whether you're speaking to a butterfly or a shark or your own dog or cat at home, that energy is the God force. So being available to unconditional love in a dog suit, which is what he is. That's not a dog. That's unconditional love in a dog suit. And when we're able to love them so completely that we don't judge, we just say, whatever you're experiencing, I'm willing to hear about it. I want to hear about it. I'll do anything in my power to make you happier. Will you tell me what you're feeling? When we're receptive, we're learning how to listen. So instead of just sending out information all the time, we're actually learning how to take it in. Does that make sense?
It should make sense. It's very interesting because I'm occupied about having this proven thing, so people out there would believe in it. So is it time for speaking with Dino? Dino?
He's got a few things to tell you.
Dino? Yeah. I don't know, it's just...
Okay, you want to say? He's a scruffy little white dog. Another favorite one is a collie with freckles on her face. Black and white collie. One of his best friends is a cat. He absolutely loves cats. Loves cats. Yeah, he loves them. And I said, "Are you missing anybody?" And it's a little boy. He loves a little boy and wishes the little boy had come. He's showing me the clothes this little boy wears. Adorable little baggy pants. He's very precious, This little boy has a big personality. He wishes he could be with him all the time. He misses him when they're not together. His job is to protect the little boy. When the little boy's out of his sight, he gets very worried.
You know who that is? Is anybody here at the center?
I think so. Because when I said, "Is it your son?" No. I said, "Is it related to her?" Yes. It is definitely your nephew. Are you having any problems with him? Are there questions that you need answered? Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. He loves to swim. He loves to swim and wants to be swimming today. I said, "What's your favorite activity in the whole world?" It would be swimming. And he likes to chase sticks out of the water. You throw something into the water and he goes and he grabs it and he swims back with it. But he would love to be out in the water. This dog needs to be run in tall green grass. Just run and run and run and run.
Ask him about balls.
Oh my goodness. He likes to catch things midair. He's a very good frisbee player. He loves your mother. Said she doesn't realize how much he loves her. He's the cheer-up committee for your mom. He's bringing all this joy and sunshine into her world. And he said she needs it now.
We're going to have the next project here. We have Matthew, our camera guy. He has a picture of a dog he wants to communicate with that is in Australia. A dog that he was very in love with and had to live in Australia. And he had some questions about this dog. Maybe you can zoom in the dog here, Matthew.
On this picture.
Very nice dog here.
Wow.
And zoom out. Okay, I'll leave the microphone to you, Matthew, and I'll take over the camera. And then you can take some questions here. Vær så god.
Wow. This is an incredibly soulful dog that feels deeply
This one needs to be very
close.
to the
Okay.
2.
Got it? Okay. And what is her name?
Radharani.
Oh, okay. When I looked at her, I got the name Rebecca or something very strange that started with an R. And now that makes sense. So she is such a deeply soulful, caring, feeling, sensitive dog. It must have been really difficult for you to leave her, because her first question to me is, why was she abandoned? And I'm telling her, he does love you, and he was doing this for your highest good. That she's saying, I would have come with him, I would have gotten on the airplane. You could have flown me. And she did feel that she didn't know what she had done wrong. And I think now you would be able to explain to her in thoughts and pictures and feelings why you did what you did in leaving her behind. There are 2 children in the house that she calls grandchildren that are the 2 biggest comforts to her. She's not happy they don't let her sleep in the bed. She's a little bit lonelier than she wishes she were. And did you feed her ice cream? She's a big lover of ice cream.
Okay, maybe sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
What are your questions about her?
Well, one of them you've sort of answered is, of course, is she happy where she is? And another one, like, is she disappointed or angry or confused about why she was left or that she's been left?
She says she didn't do anything wrong. And it is a very difficult thing to explain to them. I think that if you were to say, but your dog soulmate is there. And he is. So for her to spend the rest of her life with a dog that she loves, who needs her, is a very good reason for her to be there. There is a very big black male dog that she simply adores.
Wow.
So that's a good reason. She said that she's been with you before in a previous lifetime, and she'll be with you again. This was a lesson for you in learning how to give something away for its own highest good.
That's quite amazing because some of the reason that we gave, we knew that she would be well looked after was because they had another big dog, a big black dog named Chico, and he was becoming old and is maybe 12 years old.
That's her job.
Yeah, and so.
To take care of him.
Yeah, that's quite amazing actually.
That's good.
Mm.
Well, then that's why you left her, was to take care of him. And she knew it. And it was their time together, karmically. And she'll be back with you again in the future. So really, that was I wanted to say this has something to do with you and women and sacrifice and learning the right place and the right time for women in partnership. You needed to place her with her partner so that you could be with your partner. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And it couldn't have worked any other way. There's going to be another time in your life where she's back with you. Because she is also your partner in another sense.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
That would make me happy.
Yeah.
Does this make sense for you, Matthew? The things she told you?
Yeah, definitely, especially about this other dog who was left, who was living with this family. So, yeah, that's
was
it's pretty
lonely.
spot on, actually.
He was lonely.
Yeah, wow.
What were your other questions?
I think you already answered if she misses us. I think you sort of answered that in a way. So, and my other question, which is a little bit weird, but I wanted to ask. One day, me and her had like a connection in the forest, and for some reason, I don't know if it was my imagination or, but I got like a message from her, and yeah, I just wondered if there was any way of finding out, you know, if that was actually her channeling a message to me, or if that was just my imagination.
She said that she gave you a message through a bird, and that she'll do it again.
Okay.
It was bird song, exotic birds. That's what she was trying to send your way, to let you know that she's okay. Now the message is two birds together in partnership, because you made a sacrifice to deliver her into the arms of her soulmate, who's a dog, because he needed her now. The messages are all about partnership. She said there were two birds, and she'll show it to you again, so you'll know that she's happy with her dog husband.
Okay. I'll be sure to look out and be more open or aware to see this. So, thank you.
Yes. This was two examples, a little unstructured, but we got a little bit examples in how Amelia can talk with animals. And she's going to have a course in Oslo now, and I hope she'll come again.
Yeah.
And we usually end our interviews with, I want you to, anything you want to tell the world, anything.
Okay. Animals can think and feel, and they are our absolute ultimate spiritual teachers, because they teach us unconditional love. When we learn how, I know it. Yeah. When we learn how to receive it, we'll learn how to give it. Now, we already know how to receive it, because they're constantly pouring their unconditional love on us. And when we really can acknowledge, of course they can think and feel, of course they can communicate. They're desperately trying to communicate with human beings. When we trust ourselves enough to learn how to listen, then we're truly going to learn how to love. So we can't love if we don't know how to listen.
So if the animal is going to rule the world, we're going to have 1,000 years of love.
That's right. That's right. It's about time, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Amelia.
You're welcome.